I screwed up the buttons again.
Already?
Already. It doesn't take... I had this all planned out. It was going to be so cool. Hey, group. Welcome to another edition of DPK TV. And here we are, just beaming at you Sunday night. Okay. Someday I'm going to get that button thing right. Someday.
Well, let's say hello to everybody. Use first names. YouTube patrons. Hello, if you're watching us for the first time, be prepared. But in the meantime, let's do our regulars. Paul, who was first in the house, and Adrian, Alain, Marcus, David, Claude, Alex, Joseph, Dominique, Mudslide, Steve, John, Junkyard Jack, Jeff, William, Phil and Max, Lee, David, Ian, the Angry Scott.
And for some reason we don't have your microphone on. Just keep talking.
And Andreas in Gothenburg, Sweden.
All right, just keep talking.
Well, we did all the sound check earlier and it was perfect. Of course, as always, it all screws up the minute we go live.
That's right. Well, we still don't have you, and you know what? We're just going to have to deal with it. So what you're going to have to try to talk into your mic really loud, and that's about as best we can do for the moment. I don't know what changed. Go ahead, though. Talk loud.
Well, why don't you tell them what we've got coming up?
Well, what we got coming up is we got a whole host of goodies. We got a Rocket from the Tunes from Dix Mead. We got two lyric libraries, very special ones. We have a Folly of Youth situation, and we didn't have a very good time situation. And we've got a surprise situation and a real special thing tonight. We've got the Grand Guignol performance of Per Ubu, where we had 9 members of Per Ubu on the stage at one lousy time. Okay, why don't you talk?
Well, we did have 9 people on stage, and it was a very special performance. And just through the night, our trusty sound man Nadan sent me the entire gig in audio and video, but he has made us a very special video to show tonight, and wow, I was dancing and crying in my seat this morning as the UK goes back into a brand new tier for COVID lockdown.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, why don't we get started so I can gather my thoughts concerning the situation of why we even bother with the sound check. This is probably why we don't bother with sound checks in Per Ubu at all, basically, because it doesn't make any difference. As soon as that button goes, you go, honey.
That's because we need Nadan.
I know we need Nadan, but, it's a little expensive to bring them in, for...
You should tell them about your side cam.
I've got my side cam. Look, everybody. Whoops, no, that's not the side cam. Oh, hey, yeah, I've got a side cam, and I can get really close up.
You can see all his nose hairs.
All my nose hairs and all. And look, there's Kirsty in the background. Okay, finally, she gets on camera. But, we don't want that to go on too long, so we'll get back to me. Okay, why don't we just get off on a roll here. And this is, by the way, my favorite band picture up behind me tonight. Not that I'm a big fan of Lego, but you know how it is. Okay, are we ready for Rocket from the Tunes?
I am.
That's the way you play damn rock and roll. Okay.
David says we need that whole show, and David, I have that whole show for you, and probably in January we'll play the whole thing as a
So
special.
we have a special thing coming up for the end of the year. You want to tell them about that?
Oh,
Yet? We've got too many special, too many special things. For
well,
you.
I'm very disappointed in them all because I wanted to go out on the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and they've all polled to go out on the Monday and the Tuesday. But on the Monday and the Tuesday, we're going to split Bring Me the Head of Ubu Roi, Long Live Per Ubu, whatever you want to call it, into two, which will be about an hour long each show, live streamed here with David Thomas.
And you're going to tell them about pantomime and how Ubu Roi is actually a modern pantomime in the English tradition?
If you don't live in the UK, and I think it's probably where Jarry got some of his inspiration from, but panto is a tradition at this time of year that saves the theatres from going bust. And there's lots of farting and women dressing up as men and men dressing up as women, and it's all jolly good fun.
And it's very hard for anybody to understand the whole thing if you don't come from, if you're not English. It's just, I don't even understand the whole thing. I just accepted it, and I've not been to one yet.
But it's behind you.
What? It's
behind you, David.
What?
Behind you. That's what you say in panto. It's full audience participation. You have to shout behind you, because that's when the baddie comes.
It really, the first thing it does is repulse you immensely, because it's really bad taste, and they have all of the ordinary people, old ordinary entertainment people doing the parts, and men dressed as women, and on and on and on and on, with all sorts of smutty jokes, and you've got and the whole thing is you take your children to this thing, and they have the smuttiest jokes that you can possibly imagine anyway getting away with, and yet they just go on with it, and there's all these catchphrases that everybody in England, everybody when you're born, before you even learn your parents' name, you learn it's behind you.
Oh no, it isn't.
All right, what do we got next here?
Next, we have actually the creators of this video in the room on Patreon tonight, which is Jeff and Alana, and it is incredible. It's very beautiful. It's a submission to our lyric library, which we do usually on soup shows.
I'm very pleased with the development of the lyric library. You people are outdoing yourselves out there.
I tell you what, we have a world famous bestseller author as one of our patrons, and he was very taken with lyric library as well.
Well, I hope he submits one.
Me too.
That would be thrilling.
I've sent him a calendar to try and bribe him.
Well, send him a calendar. There's going to be a bribe coming your way, Ian, and tit for tat, buddy, tit for tat.
Let's get on with it.
What's the name of this town? Hey, you! With a duck on your head. What's the name of this town? What's the name of this town?
As the droning in her ears performed its preordained function as introductory soundtrack, she instinctively knew the future of the mirage forming itself in a blank field. For a second, she sensed leaving something behind. Refocusing, she found herself facing a dimly lit shed, vibrating with the pulse of internal generators. At the door stood a large man flecked by shards of white light that escaped the shed to annihilation in the overhanging hemisphere of an industrial arc lamp, combining their extremities in a miasma of smoke and gases peopled with queer shapes. Humans shuffling about, machines waving their arms, she couldn't tell which was which. Spaces between machines were narrow, each moving part barely missing another. Distracted by a waver in her peripheral vision, she raised her eyes to see giant aluminoid cables where the ceiling should have been, stretching off to infinity from whence they transmitted life to the machines. The man shouted incomprehensible explanations, then genuflected to the colossal steel-spiked stamping machines with cast-iron flywheels and iron balls that lashed the air with each stamping, while immense cogwheels squeaked and groaned, shining black with oil. Her eyes had grown accustomed to the dark, and she could see men swaying, hypnotized by the revolution of the cogwheels. As always, her gaze returned to where the ceiling should have been. The vast, silent cables shielded her from the formless void.
What's the name of this town? Hey, you.
Yeah, hey you. That was written by Tim Wright for the liner note for the cover of Final Solution single, which there was only 600 printed. But I mean, that had a cover. But anyway,
I don't want to make this into a commercial, but we do actually have Final Solution 7 inches here. And,
oh yeah, go, yeah. You're
So
not going to
we've
make
got
it into
the-
a promotion though.
We've got the new ones here, and we've got Final Solution T-shirts, which are very fine.
Well, the next thing on the schedule is Folly of Youth. Now, in Kirsty's commercial worldview, she wanted to have a question about picking up the inside jokes on. Could you count the inside jokes? And she said, "Well, David, would you comment on the inside joke? It's like why have the competition if I'm going to tell them the answers to the competition? But that's okay." Because I was thinking about Folly of Youth and Ray Gun Suitcase, and now this is the first Per Ubu album that I produced, and at the time, Per Ubu had two utterly new members, Robert Wheeler and Michelle Temple, and things were in flux. There was a lot of stuff going on, and Scott came up to me one day and said he wanted to play keyboards. He didn't want to be the drummer anymore. And I said, "Scott, we don't need a keyboard player. We need a drummer." And so it kind of got stuck there. And then he says, "Oh, I don't like the songs anyway," of which there was only two written at that time, Down by the River and Memphis. So anyway, I said to Robert, I'm not going to replace Scott until the very last moment. Now, what I suggest you do is you tell him that he's not going to be replaced until the last literal moment in the studio. And 6 months later, we were at that last moment, and we got Scott Benedict to come in, and he did all the drum tracks in a weekend, to click track. And that is, if you musicians out there know how astonishingly complex that or a deal that is to be thrown into. Anyway, so I was going to produce the record. At that time, I was arriving at the notion that I don't hear sound like other people hear sound, and I had long been unhappy with the notion of EQing things that I left all that to Paul, but I went to Paul and I said, studios, it's all about boxes. I had two mottos that I was going for. The way in is the way out. And the second thing was the sound waves Bill of Rights. All sound is created equal and endowed by its creator with an inalienable right to not have its waveform mistreated. So I really was opposed to the idea of using EQ, because you can EQ a sound and add 10 dB at whatever level you want, take 10 dB at whatever frequency you want, and it won't change the fundamental nature of the sound. So I got to be thinking about how studios really are boxes. And the main effort in a studio, the most effective thing you can do, rather than plugging a sound into an electronic store-bought device, was to change the size and dimensions of the room, of the box. You have a drum booth box, and you have this box, and on and on and on. So Paul and I, we got to thinking about changing speakers into microphones, because the difference between a microphone and a speaker is almost non-existent. It's a simple matter of adapting the load levels coming in. So we changed things into we changed boxes into, we even tried to change the studio itself into a box by miking the door, but doors do not really transmit sound very well. So a lot of the inside jokes here are the devices that we had come up with, the various boxes that, and I designed a logo that to this day no one has ever asked what it was. It was the buzzing suitcase, a buzzing box. And I spent a lot of time working on it, with Mac graphics back in 94 or 5, whatever it was. And to this day, no one, haven't you people figured out there is nothing that's not symbolic in Per Ubu? There is not a single image, a single word, a single type font which isn't carefully thought about and devised to be a symbol for something. So anyway, the buzzing suitcase, ray gun suitcase, was the secret clue to what was going on, that we were now changing microphones into boxes. I don't know if any of that has made sense, but what the hell? Kirsty, it's her fault. Kirsty made me explain this. So
Yeah, but my first question was going to be, was Michelle told to be like Angus Young, bouncing around in her shorts?
Hey, what are you talking about?
Never mind.
Wait a minute. That
That's
deserves
from
a
my
camera view. What are you talking about?
Oh.
All right, so I've set this thing up so that we're going to watch Folly of Youth, and I'll try to point out the various quote unquote inside jokes. It's going to go by. Some of them are all grouped together. There's one particular shot which is just chock full of this garbage. But we'll just say, do I have to say anything else? Did you understand what I was just saying there?
I was playing games on my phone.
Wait a minute. This is what I have the side cam for. Wait a minute. Oh, really? Okay, here we go. Folly of Youth. Let me just examine my buttons and push the right one. Here we go. Yeah. Well, the first one here is we've got Michelle in a little constructed room, but the camera cuts don't show it. And there's a red blazer. Now here I am doing what I do mostly at the studio, which is screw in and unscrew the last fader. Here we got the box down in the lower right-hand corner. 15-inch speaker on the floor picking up that. We got a microphone attached to a Verispeed fan here. Ken Hammond as a young man. Bob Zabarski filming. He was the fellow I talked about in Brunswick parking lot. with the box down in the lower right-hand corner. Underneath that, the 15-inch woofer. Somewhere else is the horn, but I can't see it. Here we got a ton of stuff. Coke, Diet Coke, horn, Macworld magazine, my dirty socks, ray gun, and specially lit Alfred Hitchcock coffee pot there, right there. And here we go. There's the coffee pot lit from underneath. We're just going by the Altec passive filter that's right in the middle there. You can't really catch. Oh, there's the ray gun again. And we're back to my position, coffee cup, and all that stuff. That fan we obviously got from Blade Runner. There's the enclosure we had Michelle in, which got replaced by a room later on. That red guitar, I can't remember what we called it, but we'd always rent it from the shop that never was able to sell it. Again, my hands don't work with these buttons. I'm gonna need to get one of those big thing buttons things. So I just go bam like that.
A bingo dobber.
Anyway, did I?
Yeah. Robert's been helping out as well. It's the same ray gun in that video that is used to this day at Per Ubu gigs. That
Oh
Robert
yeah,
Wheeler
he
is
still
present.
uses. He's got that wired into his synthesizer. I forgot. I was going to mention that, but everything was going by so fast.
And behind Jimmy with the red guitar are standing Robert's wife and daughter, Alex and Linda.
Oh, all right. Well, also on the subject of Altec passive filter, if anybody out there has one they can part with, contact me, because that Altec passive filter, Suma had two of them, and they just were in everything from year after year after year. And the thing of a passive filter is, well, you see my voice. Every engineer I've ever worked with has to notch out my voice at 212 hertz, because it's what they call a boxy sound at that point, and it's just really a weak frequency in my voice that throws the whole thing off. And the passive filter was this really marvelous device that would just passively, allow certain frequencies to come through, because that was the point of recording everything in a box, recording things so that I would have the frequencies and sounds naturally, recorded, that I would mix in accordingly. So if I wanted some different snare sound, I'd have a recording of a microphone, a speaker microphone that was recording it at precisely the range, and only the range that I wanted. So I would have 27 tracks of drums, of which I would only use 4, in the end. But I had them all. Whatever, you get the point. Okay.
I'm going to say hello to Chris Lindsay, who's saying it's great to see the legendary Beret on this show. And hello to B. Dahl. I think this might be your second show, but I've got a tech question. I hate tech questions because I know nothing. But it was, what was the RCA 77 mic trying to pick up miking the theremin?
The what?
RCA 77?
Yeah, what about it?
Was that what was trying to pick up the miking on the theremin?
No, the theremin we had usually plugged in directly, and so that particular camera shot was just there to look good. We thought we'd have a microphone hanging there, but I don't remember. We would record Robert in various different ways. I've never produced a record the same twice, not even in a row, twice period. So every time with Robert, we would do something different.
And you didn't mention the Diet Coke and the white socks.
I did mention the
Oh,
Diet
did you?
Coke
I
and the
wasn't
white
listening.
socks. You weren't paying attention.
David says, speaking of RFTT, is the version of Sonic Reducer on Black Record the definitive one? At least.
Oh, there's
for studio
nothing
recordings?
definitive. There is no definitive in Per Ubu. Everything is in transition from one moment to the next moment. There's no end of the road ever.
I think the definitive version of any song, as far as these bands are concerned, are the ones that you're hearing live in that venue while the show plays. You just can't beat it. But we're running way over. Do you want to get on with the next lyric library?
Yeah. All right.
This is
sure.
Joseph.
Joseph, yes.
It's French, everybody. Pay
It's
attention.
in French. Don't worry.
What's the name of this town? Hey, you! With a duck on your head. What's the name of this town? What's the name of this town? What's...
Pense à toi tout le temps, pense à toi tout le temps. Je vais là, je viens, les chaussures, je suis là, et je pense à toi tout le temps. Je pense à toi tout le temps, je parle, j'entends, j'écoute, je fais des trucs, mais je pense à toi tout le temps. Les chaussures, 1, 2, 1, 2. Je pense à toi tout le temps, le jour se lève, la nuit tombe, et je pense à toi tout le temps. Je fais des trucs, j'avance, j'entends, j'écoute, je pense à toi tout le temps. 1, 2, 1, 2. Je pense à toi tout le temps. J'entends des trucs, je parle, mais je pense à toi tout le temps. 1, 2, je suis 3, et je pense à toi tout le temps. C'est un poème de David Thomas.
don't fit in the mold.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I've just had a bit of a surprise because I said I'd try to pop onto YouTube, and there's loads of people commenting on YouTube. I'll ignore Art Hughes. Marco says hi from Italy. Kurtz May says sound is good. He was there at the RFTT 4AD show. The Small Assassins say we love Nadan. Nadan is watching us live on YouTube. Say hi to Nadan.
Hello, Nadan.
Matt Wells says he's sorry for being late. He was putting his daughter to bed. Brad wants to know if Philippe is there. I think Philippe might be under his pseudonym. Craig Bell says hi.
Hey, Craig.
And hi from Indianapolis. Matt asks if you've been taking your vitamins. Yes, he has. James says exactly what I need. Amanda says this is great. And I'm going to read all those in a minute. But Alan asked a question right at the beginning, and it's very relevant, which is he bought the CD, the actual CD, and he wants to know if the video clip's going to be available from that. If you can do it for us, because we can't do it.
Do what?
The CD video clips. The CD.
I don't know what you're talking
SEEDEE.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Oh. There's so much crap back in that old studio. You have no idea. Anyway.
We've been successfully going through it and doing the cassette tapes. And which cassette tape did we put out this week, David? It was the first gig in Belgium that Marcus Porte took those very famous photos of. So, yeah, we should race on. What's next on? Because I think it's our competition question.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have a very good time.
Yes, so if I hand David this.
What?
This. You've got to be careful because it'll fall out the bottom. We are giving one of these away tonight to somebody who is watching live, and the only thing you need to do to win this is to tell us what album is it from.
It's not from any album.
Oh,
What?
and he does it again. That was the answer to the question.
Well,
So
that's
now,
a
Dave.
stupid question.
So now you've got to think of a question all by yourself.
I don't do questions. I don't, just send me an answer to a question I would have asked. And whoever sends the best answer gets, I don't know. Just
All right, press the button.
Press the button.
What's the name of this town? Hey, you! With a duck on your head.
That's not it. Damn it. Okay, fine. All right, here it is.
I didn't have a very good, I didn't have a very good, very good, very good, I didn't have a very good, I didn't have a very good time, I didn't have a very good time, I didn't have a very good, I didn't have a very good time on the damn, I didn't have a very good time. 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 I didn't have a very, very good time. I didn't have a very good time. I didn't have a very good time.
Okay. All right.
Well, you've caused me all sorts of problems now. Do you want to hear some answers to questions you didn't ask?
Yeah.
All right. So Jasper says Vachel Lindsay.
Yeah, Vachel Lindsay.
Dunno. Jeff says pataphysical diagrams.
I'm going with Vachel Lindsay. So
Simon says no.
No.
David's question is what's my middle name, and the answer is Clayton.
Yeah. All right. Let's go with Vachel.
Hang on, there's more. Bill and Max say the answer is, hang on, I'm just reloading. The answer is only on the third weekend of the 7th month.
Maybe.
Jeff says, I mean new picnic time. Don't know whether that's from earlier or... Answer to unasked question, Linda Thompson.
Oh, that's good too.
And then on YouTube...
Well, let's just stick with Linda Thompson. Let's give the award to that one, because this next David's surprise here was found in the back room studio, and when we signed the contract with Fontana from Tenement Year onwards, the deal was that my solo career was to end, and that I wasn't to do anything that wasn't Per Ubu. That's what I agreed to in exchange for the money for all of us. But along the way, sometime after Cloudland and before Worlds in Collision, somewhere in that area, it was okayed that I was going to do a solo project with David and Don Was from Was Not Was. And we started working on some stuff, and eventually we did 2 or 3, I can't remember, we called the project Murky Weasels, and we did 2 or 3 shows down in London, and in the band was Dave and Don Was, Loudon Wainwright, and God, I can't remember the other fellow was the fellow who ended up writing all of Robbie Williams' big hit songs. So this was like slumming for him. Um, and so this is I uncovered this tape, which was a demo of of a band we were calling David, Dave, and Don. Okay, the Murky Weasels, and it goes like this. Picture of us. Oh, I don't know. I should have left a picture of me on. Let's see if I can. I don't know what will happen. No, I better just. We're just gonna have darkness.
Old man, laying in the bed, bending over.
This song that ended up
What it
being
says.
decided to go so fast.
Old man, laying in the bed, bending over. This is what he said. He said my dreams come
Oh, I
back.
should have had a picture
On
of me.
and on for the times of life. Man, I had enough. Man, I had enough.
All right, well, we're gonna have to get out of this because we can't be broadcasting blackness. That's sort of like having silence on radio. It's just a bad thing. So, what did you think of that,
I
Kirsten?
think that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've got there's another song on that tape and some instrumental variants and things like that. So we will send a copy of that out to the top
Collect-
tier. What is the
The
top?
collector's room.
The collector's room. Yeah,
And we
we'll
had
s-
a new patron sign up in the collector's room today. That was
so
easy.
so we'll be sending that out and to those in the collector's room and I don't know what's going to but the reason I chose Linda for is the winning answer was that at one point Linda, the Two Pale Boys, and I started a Linda Thompson and the Two Pale Boys, except it would have been Linda Thompson and Three Pale Boys album. And I can't remember how far we got along with it. And she may be sensitive about it ever being brought to daylight. But we never finished it. We just made some initial tracks and things. But I'll take a look at that and I'll talk to her about it and we'll see if some of it should see the light of day.
There's loads of comments on YouTube. I can't keep up. But let's talk about next week, which is the Per Ubu Panto. You're only going to be able to watch that if you're signed up to our Patreon account, which is a measly $5 for a whole month, which gets you 3 hours of live broadcasting like this. Sometimes it's worse than this. Sometimes nothing works at all.
Oh, it's just I don't understand.
And you don't have to watch it live because it's all available on catch up for the entire month and beyond because I'm so slow. Or you can sign up to the Collector's Room, which has exclusive downloads of never before released material. And that happens three times a month as well, 4 times a month actually. But right now we've got the infamous bingo ball.
Oh,
And
what is
just-
that?
it's
Why
gonna be
doesn't
very
anybody
quick.
ever tell me
Very
about
quick.
anything? Bingo ball.
Very quick.
This deserves a side cam shot. Bingo ball.
Because we do have people who have actual jobs and aren't able to watch us live. So
Yeah.
there was a special catch-up program for this. Do you want to take this? It's winging its way towards you, David.
What
This. So we gave away one of these live on the show last week.
Well, what am I
And
doing?
now this is the next one that
She
is...
gives away my stuff all the time. I'm going to end up on Skid Row without a record to my name.
And so I have the answers, the people who got the answer right, which was which operating system drives David mad? And the answer is, David?
Catalina. Stay away from Catalina.
And here is the bingo ball. I don't know whether you want to put on side cam because you're useless with this bingo ball.
Well, what do I have? Show me. Give me the bingo ball. What do I
All
gotta
right,
do?
so here's your numbers.
Here's the bingo ball that
Here's
I
your
paid 10
numbers.
pounds for.
Listen out for your number. Ed is number 3. Dominique is number 8. Ian is number 7.
What, you want the side
Mudslide
cam?
is number 4.
Wait a minute, the side cam.
David is number 16. Colin is number 6. John McCabe is number 13. S. Finch is 17. Walter Mofka is 21. And here we go. Other way. Yay! It's on the floor.
It's on
So
the floor.
while I'm going and looking at what number ball that is, why don't you enjoy the encore of the show?
All right.
All right now. Right now. Right now. Come on,
Right now.
Steve.
Right now. Right now.
What time is it?
It's time to kick out the jams, motherfuckers!
Question should have been what was the next song that we played, but so much for questions. That's why I just hate questions. All right.
We had a lot of our patrons there that night. I know that Lee and David travelled from America to see us at the Borderline. And, of course, if we run through the band, I think I'm going left to right in order, which was Daryl Boone, Gagarin, Michelle Temple, David Thomas, Steve Melman, Christoph Hahn, Robert Wheeler, and Gary Sipico. Oh, Keith Molyneux was between Daryl and Gagarin as well. So, yeah, that was a spectacular night. It was only ever going to happen once because you can't take 9 musicians on the road. But it was good to do it, even if it was for once, and we got a parking ticket at the end of it.
Okay.
So, the winning ball was number 8, who is Dominique
Dominique
in France.
in
Well
France.
done,
Oh, good.
Dominique.
Well, at least Lee Walkner didn't win it again.
Oh, and Mudslide Steve and Junkyard Jack were there, they say. I thought I saw Mudslide Steve in the foreground. So let's just have a look. Amanda Sylvester says, God, I miss live music. Brad Honer, hi. PBMJ01, nice name. James Vivian, in all sincerity, I think the MC5 would appreciate this. Whisper Mason says, in your eyes, I see the stars of 1,000 headlamps. Brad Honer was there. James Vivian says 11 stars. And Lee says, if you pull the camera back, you'll see me in the corner of the audience near Gary. Great show. So, yeah, there we go. We've gone live on Facebook. We haven't gone viral, but we've certainly got a few more people in who haven't seen us before. So please sign up for Patreon. $5. We make a big fuss of you, and we bring you a whole assortment of goodies at least 3 times a month. But you've got a double bill coming up between Christmas and New Year.
All right. Well, I think we're done for another week, another episode of DPK TV. Only a few minor button. I'll sort that out.
Are we going to get a bit of David Thomas singing live as was
No, I
promised?
don't want to sing anymore.
Just as was promised. A lot of people have tuned in
But
specifically.
nobody's tuned in to see me
to see-
damn sing. Cross the blue darkened ice, cross the blue darkened ice. Lightning and sunsets are bound to bound. Lightning and sunsets are bound. Lightning and sunsets are bound. Faces aglow. That's how we welcome winter home. Winter comes home. That's how we welcome it home. Love the friends made of stone. I love the friend made of stone. Braving the big blue alone, alone. Braving the big blue alone. Windows on fire, that's how it happens to be. Happened to me, that's how it happens to be. Songs we sing of long nights. Songs we sing of long nights. Wait till the strangers go home, go home. Wait till the strangers go home. Listen them songs of their own. Leave us to learn the songs that call from the heart of the wind. Cry from the heart that crawl from the heart of the wind. There's your song.
Jeffrey, I'll get in touch, and everybody else who's joined us tonight, whether you've been joining us on YouTube or via Patreon, you've been very welcome, and I hope that we have entertained you. And we will see you back here. I suppose I'll have to give in, and we'll be back on the 28th. Bye.